Hope you guys are doing well. So I see a lot of misinformation, especially on the message boards for stocks. And in general, I feel like people are a little bit confused or jaded, or they make their opinions about stock trading, specifically penny stocks, cheaper stocks, based on information that's just not that correct. And so I decided to create a series of videos to explain things. And if you follow along, you'll see what I say makes sense. It's based in fundamental knowledge that I've accumulated over the years. I've been trading for decades, professionally for quite a while. And I think that it all starts with understanding the way level 2 works. Most people can go through their whole life trading stocks or buying and selling stocks or investing, and they don't know what it means when someone says level 2, the inside market, the bid and the ask. And I think that it's very, very important to start there, as opposed to so many other things I want to discuss. But everything, it's in its fundamental, starts from level 2. A person has to understand what level 2 is to understand even remotely what's going on in the stock market, how professionals are trading, how market makers are trading, institutions. And basically it's as follows. NASDAQ, the electronic trading market, which was created off of New York Stock Exchange, works like this. We know that a specialist in the New York Stock Exchange is entitled to a spread. You call up your specialist, you want to buy a stock in the New York Stock Exchange, and they'll tell you, oh, it's $34. You buy 100 shares or whatever, and you own it. But in truth, there's never an exact price. There's always one price by another price, and it's called the spread. For example, the stock might be trading 33 7/8 by $34, and your broker is entitled to make that spread. He'll sell it to you for $34, and he'll pick it up for 33 7/8. The thing is that in NASDAQ, people have access nowadays. When I was younger, we would have to go into the office and have high, capability wiring in order to get really, really good up to the moment trades. But nowadays, even on your cell phone, you can get level 2 to the moment, and you can bid for stock, you can offer stock. So in NASDAQ, a stock is never $34. It's 33 7/8 by 34, or 34 by 34 and a half. There's always a bid and an ask, and it's a little confusing, but when you see it, I'm going to put up a graph, you'll see that there is people bidding for a stock, what they're willing to pay, and then people offering a stock, what they're willing to sell it for. And at some point, if the stock is tumbling down, you're going to come across the market and you're going to hit the bid. If something is taking off, you might start hitting the offer, taking the offer. And what it looks like is, if let's say I have my shirt and I think it's worth $50, and I want to sell this shirt to you, and you only feel that it's worth $40. So you're willing to bid $40. I'm willing to offer $50. Somebody might come along, they'll close the spread and say, hey, I'm willing to pay $45. Then another person comes along and says, hey, I'm willing to sell $47. And then it gets tighter and tighter until there's an inside market. And that's how inside markets are created. The very highest bid and the very highest offer. Many people can be on that. It could be private investors, market makers, institutions. Back in the day, you had the name of every company that was trading. So you knew that if Goldman Sachs was offering, it would say GSCO. Now we all pretty much use, for the most part, the same electronic access. So it's kind of hard, but there are tricks to be able to tell who's buying, who's selling. I know this is a lot of information to put in, and it's kind of very abstract if you haven't seen it before. But I would love if you guys ask questions so that we can move forward into this. But in order to have an intelligible conversation about why things are happening, people like, oh, they're shorting, they're killing the stock, they're this, they're that, they're splitting it again. There's so much emotional talk on message boards that are just unrealistic. And it would behoove a person who wants to be successful in stocks to understand what's really going on and to really understand. See, the difference between stocks and poker is that when you're playing poker, you're trying to beat out your competition. When you're trying to win at stocks, you're trying to go with the flow. And in order to go with the flow, you don't possibly have a chance. You can get lucky. You can get lucky your whole life. But you don't really have a chance unless you understand what the flow is doing. And so therefore, step number one of all the fancy things you see on a trader's computer, the number one thing that a person needs to understand is level 2. That is the very basic language of how stocks trade. Usually a professional, such as when I was trading, would have, still do, have 3 stocks up at a time. It's very hard to explain without getting into it, which we will. But the point is that you need to look at YouTube videos, you need to Google, you need to become familiar with terms such as level 2, the inside market, the bid, the ask, and understand that no stock in the world trades at one number. It trades at 2 numbers. Every single time you've ever called your broker and they said, yep, that stock is selling for $60, it wasn't. It was being offered for $60. They probably tried to bid lower, get in the inside market, and see what they could do. So now, as an investor, you can try to take advantage of that and make the spread also. So it's a lot to digest. And like I said, I'm going to put up the graph and you can try to analyze it. Maybe I'll put it up a few times throughout this video. But I think it is very, very important, and it behooves you to understand how level 2 works before you go forward in any other format of trying to understand how to make sense of this crazy big ball of cheese we call the stock market. I wish you success in all your trades. Have a good one. Looking forward to you guys liking, subscribing, and following along as we delve into this incredible thing and try to make a ton of money in the process. Have a great one.